In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Excel's conditional formatting option to display your variables and the results of your performance metrics in a visually more appealing way. Therefore, we're going to use our example keyword dataset that we're already familiar with. In this example, we're going to have a look at our profit after acquisition costs, and we want to find out which keywords have a negative value. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to use preset conditional formatting options, and afterwards you will see how you can apply your own formatting rule. Let's start with the preset option. We're going to select our data, in this case, the column with our profit after acquisition costs. Then we have to go to conditional formatting on the Home tab, and we're going to select Highlight Cell Rules. Now we want to highlight cells that have a negative profit after acquisition costs, so we're going to choose the less than option. Since we want to display all values that are below 0, we type 0 and we select our color option. I'm going to choose red here and press OK. As you can see now, we can easily tell which keywords are profitable and which are not. Let's also take a look at a second conditional formatting presetting. Therefore, we go back to conditional formatting, and before we start, we're going to clear our preset rules. So we set clear rules and use clear rules from the entire sheet. We highlight the data we want to format again, go back to conditional formatting, and we can see three other preset formatting options: data bars, color scales, and icon sets, each providing us with a slightly different formatting option. In our case, we're going to choose the color scales, which will change the background color of the cells based on the cell value. We're going to choose the first option here, and as we can see, the color scheme now helps us to determine which keywords have the lowest or highest profits and which ones are about average. But what to do if we don't want to highlight just one single column, but the whole row based on our profit after acquisition costs? In this case, we would need to set our own formatting rule. But before we start, I'm just quickly going to remove our previous conditional formatting options. Now we're going to select our whole data set, all of our columns and rows, and we will now go back to conditional formatting, and as none of the preset formatting rules will do exactly what we want, we'll go to New Rule this time and create our own rule. In here, we have to set a formula, so we use a formula to determine which cells to format. Here we're going to define a formula that will determine how to color each row. Now we want Excel to look at the value of each row of our profit after acquisition costs column. So to start with, we type equal, and since we want to look at the values of one column, here column O, which is the profit after acquisition costs, we type a $sign to log that column in, type O for the column, and type 2 for the first cell of the column. Now we want Excel to test if the cell value is less than 0, so we type that in. And now, if a value is less than 0, we want to format it, so we click on Format, go for example to the Fill options, select the color, click OK, click OK again, and there we go. Now any row where the profit after acquisition cost is negative is colored red. As you can see, with conditional formatting, you can easily visualize your data and get a good idea and overview of your data set.